All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. I had no clue what that AI image was doing. It was kind of stupid, but I couldn't fix it, so I said, screw it, let it be. Anyway, Miss Nancy, thank you to 5 by 5 Tom, Loretta, Curtis, thank you to 5 by 5 The Watchman, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, AllPower, Standalone, thank you to 5 by 5 Mitch, Bug Out, TJ, thank you to 5 by 5 Kimberly, Adam Bomb, JC, there's sound now. Evolver Media, Krista, Silent, thank you for the 5 by 5 Yeah, there's sound on my side, and everybody else is saying 5 by 5 so everybody else might have to reset their problems. Anyway, Maria, Sarita, thank you for the 5 by 5 Flown Grown Raccoon, thank you for the 5 by 5 Ozark, Toto, Brian, Witty, Monica, Groundhog, Dobie, Cowboy, thank you for the 5 by 5 Laurie, Dan Phillips, thank you for the 5 by 5 Awakening, Snap, Crackle, Pop, thank you for the 5 by 5 Fucking ads. Harold, Jose, thank you for the 5 by 5 Mary, Angel, thank you for the 5 by 5 Scraper, thank you for the 5 by 5 Jason, Mississippi Golf, what's going on, man? Thank you for the 5 by 5 For the Doggies, Ann, Dirty, Ken, or Kenzo, Patty, A1, or 1A, excuse me, Sunshine, Tristan, thank you for the 5 by 5 Tracy, thank you for the Lima Charlie, The Watchman, thank you for the 5 by 5 Purple Revelator, thank you for the J by J. Nasara, first and last, thank you for the 5 by 5 All right, guys. So let's jump into tonight's topic, which is there are multiple, I would say crisis or shortages headed this way. Maybe crisis was a little heavy-handed, but definitely, we're definitely going to see different crises coming down the pike, if you will. So a couple of war updates. Obviously, it's not going good. A lot of military experts have stated that this operation is not going according to plan. And it's funny. I listened to a few guys who this was their wheelhouse, right? I mean, I think some guys are military, some guys weren't military. At least they came across not military-esque. They definitely said that we are, or rather, Trump is in a bind right now, and he doesn't know what to do. That is definitely a possibility. Trump keeps telling the public that he's winning, but apparently he's not. Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5 by 5 on Rumble. And we're definitely, he's definitely in a jam. Now, of course, the whole hummus, Strait of Hormuz, hummus, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Of course, that thing, the blockage there, the oil, or rather the gas, it's all a problem. Trump was asking for help. I do dislike how some people are labeling that he's asking for help as begging. I wouldn't call it begging, I would call it asking for help. Begging makes him sound desperate, though he is going to be desperate in the next couple of, I would say days instead of weeks. This is not, again, going in his favor. Brian, and maybe so. We're going to talk about that later tonight, but I think he might be gone or severely injured. Now, supposedly he was severely injured in an explosion or bomb missile, excuse me. And there's video of it, but I can't tell whether that video is real or fake. Someone says, sadly, no. Again, all the videos that they keep posting, those are AI videos. Those are up and down AI videos. And if he is still alive and they're pumping those videos out, to keep him propped up. But the AI videos and the real video of him, when you put them side by side, that is not him. All right? The new videos that are coming out are all AI-esque videos. And they look like shit, to be honest with you. They all look like garbage. But anyway, we're going to talk about that later tonight on The Angry Truth, because there's a couple of things that are... There are a couple of more interesting things that are coming up. Independent, yes. I know Japan turned us down. I didn't know Italy did, but there was another country that also turned us down. A couple of countries turned us down. Germany was the other one. Thank you. Germany was the other one that turned us down. Germany was like, yeah, no, this is not our war. This is not our fight. So a lot of people, guys, a lot of countries, were against this war or operation, whatever you want to call it. Some people are saying it's because, the whole Chinese thing. They're trying to take gas away from China. China just found in 2025, last year, around July or so, they found a giant deposit of oil in the China Sea, I think it was, and they didn't say much about it. They kept it close to the vest. That is why they didn't react the way we thought they were going to react with Venezuela. Now, I don't know the concentration or the type of oil they found, meaning the viscosity. Is it really thick in its machinery, or it's a little finer or loose, or less thick, and it can be broke down to gasoline. Now, most oils can be broken down into gasoline, but the thicker it is, the harder it is for them to process it down to gasoline that they can put in our cars. Naughty pantry eggs. I did hear about the Cleveland, Ohio meteor, but the meteor could have exploded in the air. That's why everybody heard the boom. Now, supposedly they tracked it, but they couldn't find out where it landed. Either A, it landed somewhere and they're keeping it a secret, or B, it exploded in midair, as some of them do, right? It has happened over time. We watch some of these things disintegrate into our atmosphere. This might have made it lower and just, went and made that sound. But I heard that people here in New York heard it as well, right? And thank you for the donation, by the way. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. The draft is coming. Hide your kids. I could see the draft coming. Someone said Germany, Japan, Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't have the ability to, help anyone. They could barely help themselves. They're not helping us. Not after all the money we sent them, Shame on them. But anyway, Spain was another one. Listen, a lot of countries are like, no, we're not helping out with this nonsense. Listen, guys, a lot of people are seeing through this stuff. And interestingly enough, this guy dropped out. Kent Moore, Joe, Clark Kent, whatever his name is. He just dropped out of his position in a counterterrorism, unit or agency or whatever it was. And now people are motherfuckering him for leaving and saying that he was leaking information to Tucker Carlson. I don't think he was leaking information to Tucker Carlson, as he was just telling Tucker Carlson on interviews. There's a completely different ball game when you're in a conversation with somebody and you're telling them things. That's not leaking. You're just outright telling them what it is. So, nonetheless, the MAGA party turned against them, and once Trump turned against them, the MAGA party started berating him. So, Joe Kent, thank you. Yeah, but whatever. It was a Kent. It was somebody white named Kent. That's all I know. But I read about the story on now, Trump turned against him, and now he's the enemy of MAGA. If no one's paying attention, the MAGA party is fracturing. It seems like every day Trump is adding someone new to his list, and the MAGA party is going against it. And instead of people going, yeah, maybe we overshot this one. No, this is entirely too real. So there are a lot of crisis guys that are going to be heading our way, and all of this is because of this nonsense. That's the problem. And a lot of people are trying to ignore that we are going to have some serious crisis on our way if this thing is not fixed in time. TK, a lot of people say he's a hero. A lot of people like, fuck him, because Trump said so. Yes, Jamark, a lot of Trump followers. You can't be a cocksucker your whole life. You really can't. At some point, you got to stop licking somebody's dick, and you got to stand up on your own 2 feet. At some point, you just got to get it together. You got to be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't follow this man to the end of the world. Because that's what they're doing. They're following him to the end of the world. The repercussions of this doomsday queen is going to be a lot. And I think we're going to see some unforeseeable shit. Now, the unforeseeable stuff are things that we see, but the public won't see. Or rather, they refuse to see. Excuse me. I think a lot of them know that something is coming, but they're going to deny it until they're blue in the face. But we are, like I said, we're going to see some serious shit. And if this gets ugly, if this doesn't resolve itself, excuse me, the what you call it problem is going to be a problem, right? Forget about the crisis. The sleeper cells are going to be an issue. We have to go to the hospital. Donald, why? Are you okay? I know you said I may have to go to the hospital. Sunshine, and that's the thing. There's something heading our way that I'm going to talk about in depth Thursday night. This thing that's coming our way is extremely bad. But I'm trying to get more information on this because this is not false flag. This is not a pandemic or an epidemic. This is a financial crisis that's going to force more than 60% of the population into the mark of the beast. And as a buddy of mine was explaining to me this shit that is coming our way, yeah, man, it's not looking good. I'll tell you that right now. And if the majority of Americans took an arm ticket because they were convinced it was going to save them, this thing is going to make it's going to be bad. They're going to convince a lot of people. Something big is going to happen, and then they're going to put people, and I've been saying this for years, or 2 years now, excuse me. I've been saying this for about 2 years now, that something cataclysmic has to happen for there to be a change for the financial system. Anyway, this thing is ugly. I mean, it's incredibly ugly. Oh, and the Watchmen. Thank you for talking about incubation. Something else, they are making mosquitoes. They are genetically modifying mosquitoes to arm ticket animals. Right now, they're testing it on bats because bats carry more. Yes, I'm referring to the digital money, but it gets way worse than that. But anyway, they're called, you can look them up. They're either mosquito arm tickets or mosquito vaccines. Look that up. Right now they're testing it on bats because, bats, as they say, they have all these diseases and they want to inoculate the bats, and so they're using mosquitoes to do so. This is right around the corner. The shots are marked. Childhood, or child of awesome Jesus. It's worse than that. Way worse than that. And again, it's done in such an elegant way that a lot of people will not fucking see what it is, or they won't see for what it is. Excuse me. They're gonna look at it as, oh my God, it's going to help me. Meanwhile, it's not going to help you. Hey, Alaska Prepper, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Yes, Alaska Prepper, but like I was saying earlier, it's a lot worse than you think. I mean, it's the steps that it's going. I'm not going to say anything else because I want to have the full information Thursday so we could talk about it. And and it has to do with cryptocurrency, blockchain, the whole 9 yards. They are trying to shore up every possible angle they can, so they put us in that box that we can't get out of. There is a slight chance of us getting out of it, but it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, and when I mean a fight, I mean it's going to be like a yo. It's going to be I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We have to fight. Not that we might get into it. We might play patty cake and slappy hands. No, we got to get into it. It has to be a full-on get some. Because if not, we're all going to be clapped in chains, the financial chain, and we're never going to get out of it. And as soon as they don't like what we say, do, or we're done. But yeah, it's going to look ugly, and that, in fact, other countries are going to start instituting these digital wallets by the end of this year. That's why the whole SAFE Act is being held up. It's because of that technology that they want to implement is in the SAFE Act. And there's another bill that they want to that they're looking to push at the same time with the SAFE Act. That's why we have this partial government shutdown. Called kids. The mosquito bites a week later and miserable. Well, listen, the arm ticket flying things, that's another bad thing. When I saw that video, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I knew that they were working on it because we spoke, well, you guys mentioned it a couple times in the chat. But when I saw that they were testing it on bats first, and they're releasing them in bat caves, and bats are obviously eating them, and they're also getting stung by them. But yeah. Fallout Raccoon posted a no prepping video today. Tiger, yeah, I'm out on a whole Fallout Raccoon. The information's good, but it's AI. That's how they draw people away. And because of that little rat asshole is why I'm getting back to, like, the next video I'm doing for Saturday is the medical kits and shit like that. Because I'm not going to lose or fight the AI. I'm going to put it all on the table. Fuck that little rat bastard. Patriot Dave, we can absolutely stop cryptocurrency. We can stop it all if we all fight against it. The reason why we can't stop it is because people keep submitting to it. That's why we can't. But we absolutely can. We could push back a little bit. We could push back all the way. But as soon as we start telling people how bad it really is, maybe we could see someone fight. At the very least, if we can't stop it, we can delay it. And then when I die, well, listen, my kids are going to have to put up that fight. But at least we can delay it for a little bit, at the very least, man. Yeah, John, time to go Amish. But again, it gets harder than that. Rock, is that true? But yeah, you'll see. We'll talk about it Thursday. And I will be talking about some more interesting shit tomorrow morning. Probably early. I have a photo shoot early in the morning. So maybe after the shoot I can do, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it after the shoot. The shoot from 9 to 11 and then get back home by 12. I could possibly do it a little later. Whatever. What's running the AC? I don't have an AC running. What Plain Prepper, what are you hearing? For the doggies, if the grid goes down, again, we're going to talk about that, but there is a way that you can absolutely be screwed if the grid goes down. But they have a backup system for that. Apparently, they have a backup system for that, but they won't have a backup system for us for our safety, right? For our health, they won't do that. But for that cryptocurrency bullshit, yeah. No, Tristan, it's not a naked photo shoot. I did a boudoir shoot Sunday, 2 days ago. I did a boudoir shoot. It was pretty interesting. The girls were good looking, obviously, but it wasn't about the good lookingness of them. It was the confidence in front of the camera. And then they got to meet a couple photographers, so it was a good time. It was cool. And the photo studio was actually cool. It was like an old school warehouse. It was really cool, but it was all the way in Lebanon, PA. That's about a 2.5 hour drive from here, which is not that bad either. But anyway. Is there a particular first aid manual you recommend? Colt, you're gonna have to email me on that, but you can look up on Amazon and type in first aid manual or trauma, just look up first aid manual, and whatever pops with high reviews, I would get those. Because the problem with first aid, any book, prepper books, anything like that, it's been years now, and there are new ones out there, and they might be different information, updated information. So look for a more modern first aid book. Sometimes shit changes, especially with CPR, Heimlich maneuver. Maybe the way they want you to put a tourniquet on. So look for stuff like that. I was hoping that Bear Independent would release a book like that, but no, I'm not in Connecticut now. No whining. An EMT manual is good, but you have to know what you're doing with an EMT manual. That's the only problem. Like you can get an EMT manual, but you need the practice. You need the hands-on practice. I guess you could do the same with a first aid book. You sort of need the hands-on practice. I mean, EMT manual is the way to go. It's a little pricey, but yeah, you could do that. Adrian, you can go over to the Angry Lensman on Instagram, and I'll be posting pictures on there. Or, hold on, I'm trying to keep a theme going. So give me a break on these names. But don't you hate when you open up an app by accident? Let's see. It's the Angry Lensman Photography, and it's Angry Lensman Portraits. The portraits I'm going to be putting a lot of the boudoir shots on there. I took some crazy amount of shots. I think like 700 shots, different models. Mr. J, yes, I'm going to do a video on my trauma kits, what I bought from Refuge Medical, and how I have my kit built. Right, so I'm going to do 2. And then I'm going to do a poor man's kit. Poor man's kit is probably a better kit for most people because it's easily accessible for you. You know what's in it, and you can see through it because it's in a plastic bag, right? The fancy, what you call it kits are great, but sometimes you just need something really simple and easy to get to. But I'll definitely show you that video. Yeah, no whining. I was an EMT a long time ago too, man. A long time ago. But yeah. Is a basic EMT course 6 months? My skydive? I did it in 3. But then again, I was there, 8 to 10 hour days. Like every day for 3 months, right? So we did it in a short amount of time. Bruce, at Jace Medical, aren't those medications and things like that, or are they an actual medical kit? Because I don't know. They keep contacting me to get one, and because they didn't sell ivermectin, I refuse to deal with them. Maybe it's a little standoffish, but whatever. Have you ever met the fire commissioner, Mr. McAfee? I did for like a hot second. She was at the gas explosion that I went to a couple months ago. She was just standing there, just there, and it's odd because like she's an EMT, or maybe she was a medic. She's not a fireman, so she doesn't understand this culture. She said in an interview she doesn't. I understand the EMS culture and I understand the firefighter culture, right? Because I was in both. She was never a fireman, so she doesn't understand our culture. But she's seemingly cool, so we'll leave it at that until she pisses me off, and then But she's doing the right thing. She's staying out of the way. She has, fire chiefs that are pretty much running the show on that aspect because she's more worried about EMS because she was an EMT. Adriana, I didn't see the fireball in Manhattan. Of course, I missed it because I was at work. We were indoors. Had I saw it, man, it would have been nice. But I heard that a lot of people saw the fireball. Miles Long, you do not need to be an EMT to be a firefighter. No. They were trying to do that shit years ago, and we were like, no, absolutely not. Other states do it. We're not going to do it because it's stupid. It. They say it saves money. It really doesn't. It doesn't. And the training might be a little longer. Not a big deal. EMT or paramedic. I would say if you have the chance to be a medic, if you're asking, if you had the chance to be a medic, I would do that. I wish I would have did medic school, but by the time I was thinking about doing medic school, the fire department called, and then that was that. You know, I wasn't gonna stay another 4 more years to be a medic. Eat my ass. I wasn't doing that shit at all, like not even a little bit. All right, guys. So let's get into it. So breaking, I don't want to call it breaking news, but the German defense minister, we talked about this, Boris Pistorius, questions U.S. call for European ships in the Strait of Hormuz, saying, what does Trump expect a handful of European frigates to do that the powerful U.S. Navy cannot? This is not our war, and we did not start it. And again, that was Germany's strong message. Listen, like I said earlier, this is not our fight. This is not for us. We shouldn't have started this fight. But now that we did, we have to absolutely, I guess, dig in. Advanced EMT. Yeah, we don't have advanced EMT here. We don't have EMTI either. We only have EMT and medics. That's it. We don't have EMTI. We don't have advanced EMTs. We just have we have CFRD, which firefighters are. We have CFRD, we have EMT, and then we have medics. Those are the three ranks. The EMTI is cool, but at that point, you might as well just be a medic, right? Like, it sort of doesn't make sense. That's why we didn't do it here in the city, because you might as well be a medic for it. Anyway, I guess it's breezy outside. Thousands of Iranian men are buying tickets to Kara Island to defend against American invasion. These are not soldiers; they're civilians, and they're fighting to protect the island. Now, if this is true, the whole thing where the Iranians were in the street, they were in the street for Khomeini's funeral. My brother was under the impression that his funeral was where they were being forced to attend his funeral, and I'm like, I don't think it works that way in Iran. Not like North Korea. North Korea, those people are psychologically beaten. I don't see that. I mean, he said that, and it sort of made a little sense. But if these Iranian men are voluntarily going to this island to stop an American invasion, then who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But anyway, that's the bullshit going on. And Iran confirms the death of Ali Lajdani, the Secretary of Supreme National Security Council of Iran. Now, this guy's death, Ali Lajdani, his son, and his security guard or bodyguard, all three died in this attack. That's the part they left out. I'm not sure why they didn't mention his son, but nonetheless, that just happened a few hours ago, maybe, or earlier today. So yeah. Again, Iran is ready to dig in. That's just what it is. Iran is looking to dig in, and Iran has way more weapons than we thought, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think, Rooster said another gay dating site ad popped up. I don't know why they should read the room, right? Speaking of reading the room, when I went to that photo shoot, there was a shower scene that they set up. It was supposed to be through glass, and you're supposed to take pictures of this dude, taking a shower. And I walked up to it, and me and this guy walked up to it, and I go, absolutely not. I'm not shooting this. And then the other girl who was with us, she looked and she goes, yeah, I figured you weren't. And she doesn't even know me from a hole in the wall. And she goes, yeah, I figured you weren't. I said, yeah, I'm not shooting that. I don't even think the other guys actually did. I think only the chicks walked over to him and were shooting it. because he was all like, in the plexiglass, with the water on it, flexing his abs and shit. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I will shoot a guy up to a point, but that was just that was too much. I was just like, nah. No, I mean, even if it was like a chick, I would have thought it was unnecessary for that. So I wouldn't have shot it either way. But yeah, I'm out on the whole the guy, fucking pretending to be in the shower. I was like, no dice, dude. I was like, there's a certain, like, the alpha male in me just kicked in, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'll shoot anything else. You could put a can of Spam behind that plexiglass with some rain on it to make it look like I would have shot that shit, but I wasn't doing that, right? So, it was all right. Outside of that, it was all right. I got to shoot the guy earlier, and that was a good shoot, but that shit, I wasn't doing it. Fucking shower scene. What is this? I was like, did this turn into a Skinamax and like that? I was like, no, thank you. But again, it was still a good experience. Angry shower scene. All right. So, guys, the crises that are heading our way, or the multiple crises, that are heading our way. Sexy can of Spam, anytime. What's with the? Oh, Patty. Yeah, I stayed in one of those hotels in Vegas that had like the see-through shower. I was by myself, but I was like, but why? Why do I don't know. It was weird. The see-through shower shit's weird. Maybe if it's you and your girlfriend, you guys are, maybe that'll work. But like when you buy, it was just weird. Shooting blanks. Fred Stallone, you wish. Anyway, guys, the crisis that we are going to see heading our way are ammo, gas, and food. Ammo is something that Bear Independent talked about, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. And not that I didn't believe him. I'm not an ammo guy, so I'm just like, all right. But then a couple of guys who that's their wheelhouse. They deal with ammo. They deal with firearms. And they started seeing a massive shortage, or they're starting to see a shortage of firearms. Now, we have an ammo crisis like we've never seen heading our way. A lot of material that ammo companies use to manufacture are now being sent directly to the military. Brass, primer, powder are the materials being sent to the military. So as of 2026, ammunition supply constraints are ongoing, driven by component shortages, especially nitrocellulose, increased production costs, and potential regulatory impact on online sales, which is all bullshit, by the way. While 9mm remains relatively available, prices are high. Stockpiling common calibers and component, particularly for defense, is recommended due to the potential long-term shortage. Now, again, all that other hoopla bullshit, it's going straight to the military. The military is putting in big orders for this stuff. And again, that was according to Bear Independent. He said that they are putting in big orders, and people need to be ready for it. So for those of you that go ammo shopping on a daily basis, start buying what you can now. Start buying what you can now, because it's going to get ugly. By the way, I filled up my gas tank halfway the other day, or rather, excuse me, I have a 22-gallon tank, if I'm not mistaken. A 22-gallon tank. I had filled up, because I saved it, or rather, I wrote it down, sorry. I wrote it down. I had 11 gallons in my tank left, and it's $48 to fill it up. 11.2 gallons to be exact. $48 to fill it up. In the city, it was $3.39. So, yes, gas is going up. When I came back home in Bristol, PA, out of all places, by the time, because Bristol, PA is where my mother lives, when I got to Bristol, PA to fill up again, I filled up 15 gallons in my tank. It was $3.99. $3.99 a gallon at $60. So clearly, guys, it's shooting up. It's getting there. Nonetheless, guys, ammo shortage, like I said, is going to get more interesting. If you are and you have seen ammo on sale, Ammo on a daily. Listen, I don't know how you people buy your ammo. It's on a daily or a weekly, but I know there are people who buy an absorbent amount of ammo. So there is that. But just pile your ammo away. That's the best I can tell you because I don't know. All right, now impact on specific ammo types. 9mm and target ammo. I don't know what that is. While 9mm remains relatively easy to find compared to other rounds, prices are high and likely to remain volatile for the foreseeable future. Defensive loads. Specialized ammo like defensive shotgun ammunition, buckshots and slugs, and premium hollow points are experiencing tighter supply than bulk target ammunition. Now, this ammo problem that we're going to start seeing, if not some of you are seeing it already, I don't know. This means, guys, that we're probably going to see boots on the ground. I would almost bet my YouTube check that we're going to see boots on the ground. If they are diverting munition material to the military, we're probably going to see boots on the ground because they're getting 9mm, I guess 5.56 223s, if I'm right. That's the ammo that's harder to come by. We might be going boots on the ground. Fred Stallone, Dr. Campbell had a video. If I'm not mistaken, Prepper Revelator sent me the video earlier today, and Dr. Campbell was talking about, I think 2 kids passed away, 11 are critically ill with the meningitis over there, right? I knew I read a story about meningitis a couple years ago where the son was experiencing excruciating headaches, almost like his head was being torn apart, as he explained it before he died. And there was something with his dad. I'm not sure if his dad had it too or gave it to him or something in that regards. But this was like 2-3 years ago. But anyway, it's making a comeback in the UK. I want to say Kent, but I could be wrong, and I could be confusing it with the other guy. But anyway, I think that's what it was. Strategic recommendations. Stockpile essentials. Users suggest prioritizing the acquisition of defensive round as well as maintaining a consistent supply of training ammo, diversify your calibers. I never heard of this. You guys know about it more than me. Diversify your calibers, which I guess makes sense, right? 9mm, 45s, 40 calibers. Anyway, relying on 1 or 2 calibers make it harder to shoot if that specific type becomes scarce. Due to finished ammo shortage, many are turning to reloading, making components like primer and powder valuable to stockpile. So I guess for those of you guys that are doing this, reloading is probably going to be a better option. But I don't know how meticulous and how hard reloading is. You watch it on movies, they make it look so easy. They also make crack look easy when you're cooking it, but nonetheless, TV makes it look easy. I don't know how easy making a round or reloading rounds are. But I also heard reloading rounds saves you a lot of money. So it saves you a lot of money and the prices on ammo are going to increase. Maybe this is an option. I don't know. You guys choose. I'm just reporting what I'm getting, or rather what's coming across my screen, if you will. Been prepping before it was a thing. You were a huge influence. I appreciate it. 53 Adam, thank you for the donation and thank you for the kind words. 10,000 ammo of every weapon, freeze dried, bought, having everything stocked. Wow, 10,000 K on the ammo. Nice. Reloading is easy after you buy the reloading equipment. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Reloading isn't cheap anymore. All right, again, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I do not know these things. I report it. You guys want to tear me apart, by all means. You know. But, yeah, I get it. You have to know what you're doing with reloading. Okay, Daniel, again, not my wheelhouse. Granted, listen, when I get a home and I can start collecting firearms, I would absolutely learn how to reload, like without a doubt. I'd get the whole equipment because I want to learn. I always wanted to do it. I thought it was cool watching it in a movie. I'm pretty sure it's not cool and it's like it's tedious. That much I know that it's tedious work. Ammo has gone up $2 for one box of 50 on site I use. No kidding. Good classes to host. Oh, all right, farm girl. Again, I'll take your word for it. Components for reloading are too expensive now. No kidding. Juniper, if that's how I'm saying it right, it says components for reloading are too expensive now. Start making your own ammo. All right. All right, guys, moving right along. Now, with gas prices going up, which I think I skipped right over, I sure the hell did. With gas prices skyrocketing and going up, that's going to affect food, and it's going to affect everything else, right? But keep in mind, guys, we were promised lower grocery bills by Trump. We were promised lower gas by Trump. We were promised no new wars by Trump. People are splitting hairs and saying this thing in Iran is not a war. Whatever you want to call it. If boots go on the ground, it's going to be a war. Nonetheless, that doesn't change the fact, guys, that food prices are going to go up, which are going to become a problem for a lot of people. And gas prices are already becoming a problem. Again, I noticed it when I went to the... You know what's funny? When you're a kid, your parents used to, bitch and moan about gas. Remember when gas was 50 cents a gallon or $1 a gallon? I didn't start paying attention to gas till it was about 50 cents to $1 a gallon, depending on where you went. And now it's depending on where you are, it was $3.99, right? What did I read you guys? I had $3.99? Yeah, $3.99 in Bristol, Connecticut. Some places are seeing $5 a gallon. All right. Now, being guys that we're seeing $5 a gallon, global crude oil prices have gone up and been volatile over the last few weeks following the U.S.-Israel attack on Iran. They spiked to nearly $120 a barrel about a week after the war began and then fell down to, I heard the low, it fell to about $85 a barrel, where they've been hovering for the last several days. Before the war, the barrel cost was at $70. Well, my point is, and maybe one of you guys who are smarter than me in this regard, why did gas prices start going up as soon as we attacked Iran when we had already bought the oil? Now, this was a point brought up by Prepper Revelator. Again, he's smarter than me in this regard, but he made a good point. It sounded like a good point. If we already bought this oil, it was already bought and paid for by the gas companies, why, as soon as it started going up, did they start charging us for something we didn't receive or paid for yet? Or was that for them to offset it or keep their pockets fat? MPAT said $9.40 a gallon in Malibu? Gross. Diesel was $5.09. Farm Girl, I saw diesel, what was it, $5.01, in, where the hell was I? PA, right? I saw it in PA. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Gas is $3.70 in my part of the woods. That's still good, Groundhog. Manipulated oil prices. That's what I'm thinking. They want to start doing that in supermarkets, by the way. It's called they surge pricing with food. So depending on the time of day, the prices surge with food you buy. So if you bought Ritz cracker in the morning, but for whatever reason your fat ass ate all of it by noon and you went back out by 5 to get it again, they'd raise the prices like a couple cents, like 10, 15, 25 cents. All right? Linda said, I remember when gas was 26 cents. No shit. Again, I never paid attention to gas until my parents started complaining about it, And that's the thing, Jenny. If it is price gouging, then it's illegal. Why are gas companies allowed to do that? And why isn't anybody talking against it? Again, if we already bought the gas and it's already paid for, and that's what we're putting in our truck or vehicle, excuse me, then the prices shouldn't change for the next couple of weeks, because these barrels or this oil's already sitting in their refineries here throughout the country. So now why are we paying for more for something we didn't receive yet, or rather the company didn't receive yet? Make your own crackers? Can you make your... How would I make my... I want to make crackers now, because now I'm really curious. It went up almost a whole $1. No shit. So anyway, food prices, guys, is most certainly going to go up within the next couple of weeks. Food prices continue to rise. Now, interestingly enough, even before this whole Iranian thing, food prices are still going up in late 2025, early 2026. The USDA data forecast a 2.5 to 3% increase in food at home prices, meaning the shit groceries is what they mean, which I don't know why they didn't say that, following significant spike in 2020, 2024. While the rate of inflation has slowed from previous peaks, higher prices persist due to climate-driven supply shortage, bullshit, geopolitical conflict, okay, and rising costs of fertilizer and transportation. Fertilizer and transportation, oil prices going up, we're going to see higher prices. Now, how high are we going to see prices? That's a different animal. That's an entirely different animal. I don't know. Nor at this point do I really give a shit. Because we were promised low fucking groceries. And here's the thing. All of the promises that we have received or gotten from any politician, I stopped believing in them. When Trump was like, I'm going to promise you the no war thing, I was like, all right. But all the other shit, I didn't see happening. I absolutely didn't see him going through with any of it. The Epstein file, I was a little surprised they released what they did. And I think they released what they did so that they didn't get sued or whatever it was. I don't know. But I was surprised they released what they did. And even what they released was like sort of bullshit. All right. People asking for pictures. All right. Anyway. MPAT was joking about Malibu gas prices. Thanks for a whole 10 minutes going by before you said something. Appreciate it. Anyway, your electric bills are going to go up as well. That's without a doubt. Your oil prices, I mean, that's next winter. Maybe things will level itself out by then or get a whole hell of a lot worse. You choose. But that's a different problem. Heating bill prices are going to be a different problem. Should just keep going, right? So anyway, here are the key factors of driving the price of food up, which I swear is bullshit, but whatever. Let's go through it. Droughts and floods, which is true, have impacted key supplies, specifically rising beef prices and creating a shortage of commodities like coffee. Whatever. Ongoing impact from conflicts, including potential fertilizer shortages due to disruption in shipping and are driving production prices higher. Tariffs and trade. Tariffs on import goods like coffee and bananas are contributing to higher grocery bills. I do not remember paying that much for banana. Actually, coffee's up there. Because I know now, coffee used to be cheap when we were kids. But now, like a bag of coffee, like a standard bag of coffee is $13. I'm like, there better be some fucking gold flakes in these coffees for that to be that high. But that I get. The coffee, coffee's going to spike even more now. So whatever. Labor cost. Immigration policy change affecting farm labor availability may soon raise wages, further increasing food costs, because now that they're not using illegal immigrants and paying them nickels and pennies, they have to pay an actual wage. So that's going to drive the price of food up as well. So somebody made a point, this is a couple months ago, on a video, they said that, a farmer said this, I don't know how liberal he was, he sounded pretty liberal. he sounded pretty liberal, but he sounded pretty liberal, but he stated that because of Trump's immigration policy and getting rid of a lot of migrants, that now they have to actually pay workers the correct wage, and then it's going to drive the cost of food up or something like that. This is from a farmer. And he was like, and they're taking our workers away, and that's what he also said. They're taking our workers away, which is causing a break or disruption in the food chain, which then has a lot of food go bad, spoil, and then we bite the bullet on that, which cost us to raise the cost to make up for that, if that made sense. That's what else he said. So anyway, nonetheless, we're not going to see any low prices in food, ever. The promise that were made to lower our grocery bill is never going to happen. All right, so price outlooks. Food at home, otherwise known as groceries. I don't know why they call it food at home. Why not just call it groceries? Am I missing something or am I retarded? Anyway, while some items like eggs saw price decline in 2026, this year, overall grocery prices are still projected to rise. Some forecasts predicting an increase as high as 5 to 8%. With this war and gas prices going up, we're probably going to see closer to 10 to 12% increase in food prices within the next 3 months. Food away from home. Restaurant. Why don't they fucking say that? Why do they keep making these stupid terminologies? Food away from home? Just say fucking restaurants, you dick. Anyway, these fucking dick lickers in their fucking terminology. Anyway, prices for dining out continue to rise faster than historical average, increasing 3.8 in 2025. Experts suggest that shoppers will need more time to acclimate to higher price levels, and as reduced inflation does not mean prices are returning to previous lower levels. The average orange juice, by the way, are up 28%, and ground beef prices are up 13.7% from January of last year. The price of chicken has also gone up, but there was something else they mentioned that dropped. Eggs, I mentioned earlier. Eggs has also gone down. Nonetheless, we're going to see an increase with this fucking war or strike or operation, whatever you want to call it. I call it bullshit. Takeout. Yeah, just say takeout. Restaurant, whatever. Eat less, intermittent fasting. You could do that too. You could fast and save a lot of money fasting. I tell you this much. I've been saving a lot of money. When I'm home, I'll eat maybe once, twice a day. That's it. You know? Kimberly, thank you for the heads up. Appreciate it. All right. So, food at home prices are predicted to increase 2.5% in 2026. Sorry. Though the pace of growth will remain below the 20-year average, according to the forecast by the USDA Economic Research Service, released on Wednesday. This was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Prices are projected to increase faster for sugar and sweets, beef, and veal in non-alcoholic beverages than beverages than for food at home. Oh God, with this food at home categories among the 15 agencies examined for its food price outlook. Only eggs are predicted to see a price decline this year. The forecast followed the government's report that the annual rate of grocery inflation eased to 2.1% in January of this year after rising during the previous month. You know, when I look this stuff up, there are so many different agencies and different companies that have like outlooks. Like they have all of these companies that do predictions on groceries. Then they have companies that do predictions on individual foods, coffee, fruit, meat, produce, right? Then they have another agency that dives into supermarket trends and behaviors. And they're like, oh, the behavior of these people in this area and that. I'm like, they have so many agencies out there, it's insane. I'm like, where do these people come up with this shit? These people sit here with their computers and go, it's going to... historical average is going to increase 3.8% in 2025. Like, the amount of nerdery that's going on is fucking insane. I didn't know that there was so many nerds. They're all fucking nerding out on this shit. You need to eat, you work. You need to eat, you work. I guess. I can go a whole day without eating. I can go a couple days now without eating, and I'll be fine. I do go to a cranky stage, and then after I pass the cranky stage, I'm good to go. AZ Desert Rat. Yes, there was the St. Patty's Parade today. All of the FDNY was there marching. I only marched one time in that parade. That was my first year as a firefighter. Right, I was actually a probie at the time. So that was 22 years ago. I marched. The next time I march in a Patty's Parade is my last year as a fireman. All right. No, I have not tried McDonald's Big Arch Burger because I no longer eat at McDonald's. McDonald's because, suck a stiff dick. Who needs milk? I don't need milk. The only people that need milk are, babies and babies. Yes, Dragon. I learned how to can and dehydrate. Well, dehydrate? No. Can my own food? Absolutely. Vacuum seal my shit? Yes. I learned how to do that. Dehydrating or freeze drying I want to do. I do want a freeze drying machine. He goes, you do not want to survive on garbage like beans. Be close to the ocean if you can and have a tune of fishing lines. Well, listen, beans is your backup. Beans shouldn't be your main. It should be a backup or a supplement, right? But it shouldn't be like your sole, what you call it. And like bread, people are like, well, they suffer through bread. The only bread you should be eating is sourdough. Again, that's a different conversation for a different day. Have you ever felt like you've been cheated? Cheated on what? Life? Yeah. The fact that I wasn't adopted by a rich white family? Absolutely. But, no, I don't know what you mean by that. I have a Harvest Right freeze dryer. Works great. No kidding. Yeah, I'm looking to buy one of those. Again, when I have the room and the space to do so. I actually have the room and the space. I heard they were fairly loud, and they pull a lot of power. And I don't have a 220. Unless they have something a lot less, that pulls a lot less power. Someone told me one time they pull on a 220, excuse me, not a 120. They pull on a 220. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh, I don't have that capacity here. You need a dedicated 220 at that. Oh, shit, it's 10 o'clock. All right, guys. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. I will see you guys in a couple minutes, and I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. At some point tomorrow, either in the morning or the late afternoon, I'll have a midweek report. Anyway, guys, outside of that, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate the follow, the watching. You guys could be doing a million other things, but instead you're dealing with me and my bullshit. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys hopefully in the Angry Truth. 53, man, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. No, it's a 120 in my Harvest medium right. All right, very good. That's good to know. Then I'll definitely look into one. All right, guys, appreciate it.